Well, yesterday we talked about Samuel before he was born, and today, already, by the time we get to 1 Samuel chapter 8, he is now an old man. And ironically, when Samuel was a boy and the Lord called to him in the night in 1 Samuel chapter 3 and verses 1 through 10, Eli, the old priest, is the one he talks to. And unfortunately, Eli's sons didn't follow in his ways. They were corrupt, they were lacking in integrity, and that's part of why God calls to Samuel and raises him up as a leader. Sadly, at the beginning of 1 Samuel chapter 8, we find out that the same thing happens to Samuel. His sons don't walk in his ways. They're not men of faithfulness and integrity. They accept bribes. They're corrupt. They pervert justice. It's amazing how this has always been an issue with people in leadership as long as there have been people around. And because of the sons not following in Samuel's ways, the people come to him and they criticize his sons and say, hey, appoint us a king like other nations. And being like other nations is something that frequently gets Israel in trouble as we read throughout the ages in the Hebrew Bible. And it really cuts Samuel to the heart that the people no longer want God to rule over them. They want a human king, just like other nations. And in 1 Samuel chapter 8, in verses 7 to 8, Samuel is praying, and then it says, "And the Lord said to Samuel, listen to the voice of the people in all that they say to you, for they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me from being king over them, just as they have done to me from the first day that I brought them out of Egypt to this day, forsaking me and serving other gods, so also they are doing to you." You can hear the plaintive longing in God's voice there from the very day that God had delivered them, God had liberated them, God had given them freedom from being enslaved, that people constantly turn their hearts away from God to wanting to be like other people, not trusting God, not serving God, chasing after material things, greed, selfishness, power, rather than being people of faithfulness and integrity, who are trustworthy, who seek and serve the Lord first and foremost. And people have been turning to serve other gods, other leaders. People often become cult-like followers of charismatic leaders. It's happened throughout history. And every time that happens, I think it breaks the heart of God once again, because God says, you're not serving me. You're not rejecting human leaders like Samuel. You're rejecting me. We want to make sure we keep faithfully in serving the Lord all of our days over any human being.